Welcome to Japan Explained, a multicultural podcast between two fun ladies, Jean and Yoko. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Japan Explained. My name is Jean Gordon-Kushenda.
My name is Yoko Kato.
And today we are going to grapple with a question that has been bugging me for a long time, and that is, well, it has to do with the trains. We have many questions about the trains, but let's start with the one that I think is the most puzzling, is how is it possible that the trains always run on time? So let me first, Yoko, before I ask you for your opinion, let me just tell our listeners a little bit about just the greater Tokyo train system. Okay. So yeah. Tokyo's trains, it's a marvel of the world. It is ultra efficient. It moves an amazing number of people every day. So just to give you a feeling for that, across greater Tokyo, tens of millions of people are being moved every day. Tens of millions. The subway alone handles over 8 million people every day. And we're talking in greater Tokyo, it's around 40 million every day. But that's not, that's amazing. So start with that. But then add to that it is reliable its reliability is legendary. Trains run to the second, not to the minute. And their on-time rates are around 99%. It's also, despite the huge number of humanity, of people, it is famously safe and clean. Stations are spotless, and riders and workers are famously respectful and polite. For visitors to Japan, like myself, it really feels like a miracle. Mm-hmm. It is a miracle. So Yoko, tell me, when you were growing up and riding the trains, did you think it was a miracle?
Yeah, I took a train for every day during I commute to high school. But to be honest, the fact that train runs on time is something like I've always seen in Japan. So I
like every day.
Yeah, everyday things. So to be honest, I've never really given it much deep thought. Yeah, but during the 3 years I commute to high school with train, so there was no big accident and no big delay, as you said. So yeah, so for now I really feel I appreciate it.
And did you appreciate Japan's trains better after you lived in the United States for a while?
Of course. So because after I moved to the US, I sometimes surprised because the people who were in the train, some of them talking on the phone. Yeah, that is kind of shocking for me.
Why would that be shocking for people to talk on the phone?
Yeah, because they talk in a very loud, and they talking about very personal thing. Yeah, very personal things. For example, I divorced last year, so something like that. I'm so surprised because it's
right.
public space.
Yeah, that's not very. It's not very polite. It's not very nice to your neighbors sitting next to you. Mm-hmm. And also, yeah, it's very personal. I'm also surprised, even as an American, when I hear people say these very personal things. But it's also, I think, Well, okay, so I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, and we have a few light rail trains, but basically the big train line is the Caltrain, and the Caltrain runs from San Francisco, King Street, down to Silicon Valley. It's just one line, and it is late all the time, and it is dirty. I don't like to sit on it. It does not have a convenient schedule, and I would not want to be in one of those train stations at night. It would be, I feel like it wouldn't be safe.
Very scared.
So I think in comparison, truly the Japanese train station, the trains feel like a miracle. But in order to understand how this works, Yoko, you and I spoke just recently to a worker who works in the train system in the greater Tokyo area. We're not going to use his name, but he had some opinions about why the train system works so well, didn't he? So let's listen to what he says. Why do Japanese trains always run on time?
なぜ日本の電車はいつも時間通りに正しく運行されるんですか？とても不思議に思います。
はい。いつどこでどれぐらいの人たちが電車に乗るかっていうのを、大体予想して、何本の電車をどれぐらいの間隔で走らせるかっていうのを、事前に運用計画っていうのを立てています。で、その運行スケジュールをダイヤって言います。例えばその朝とか人がいっぱい乗るときには、間隔を短くして本数を増やしたりとか。で、あと、運用につきましては、運転の指令というところがありまして、で、そこでの仕事が、重要になってくるんですけど、コンピューターで、指令の方たちが、そこの電車の位置とか、を、リアルタイムに、把握して、います。で、ダイヤルチェックを守れるように、信号機だとか、あといろんな設備があるんですけど、それによって、運転手さんに、指示をして、コントロールをするというような形になります。で、あと他のことにつきましては、鉄道の、技術水準というのが結構高いところにありまして、日本の国民性がよく関与しているというふうに考えております。私もそうなんですけど、学生の時から結構時間には厳しく、育てられておりまして、義務教育機関ですかね、小学校、中学校とかでは、結構遅刻するとか、そういうのは特にありませんでした。ありもそう含めてですね。で、遅刻、例えばそういう時間を守れないっていうふうになりますと、保護者が呼ばれたりとかいうようなことで、注意するというような形でですね、そういうような感じで育ってきました。で、特にその鉄道については、時間に厳しく管理されているというところが、やっぱ国民性が現れているのかなというふうに考えております。で、あと、メンテナンスとか、仕事については、鉄道が終わってから始まる時間までの間で、メンテナンスをしてるんですけど、それは大体夜中ですかね。深夜の時間帯になるんですけど、その間に、設備の修繕だとか、あと、その点検とかですかね、掃除も含めて、いろんな人たちがですね、夜中に働いてるっていうのをちょっと理解していただければと思います。そういった形で、列車が、安全にですね、動いているっていうのを、分かってもらえればというふうに思っております。はい、以上です。
Okay, Yoko. So that was really interesting. What do you think were the key points from what he said?
So he talking about from 3 points. The one of them is the system, and the second one is the operation, and the third one is his personal opinion. And then for the first one, he said Japanese railroad creates the time schedule with the very important data that about the when, where to, and how many people will use the trains, and then all of these information combined it. So they created the timetable. So they call it Daya. I'm not sure. Daya. I'm not sure what's the language is it.
Okay, but it's like it's not the schedule. It's the regular flow of people. It's like numbers that statistics that tell us about.
Perspectives.
Okay.
Yeah. And the second one is the operation. So they has main operation conducting team or something. So they monitored and controlled each of train cars. And then if specific car has a little bit delayed, maybe they control the signals for the go and stop or something.
Right.
And then maybe contact with its driver and the conductors.
And so, I thought it was so interesting that he said that that in very busy times, for example, if the commuters have to get pushed onto the train, which is of course famous, the train pushers, right? That there is a 15-second grace period, a little bit of time to get everybody on the train, but that's really all. It's 15 seconds.
Not minutes.
Not minutes.
Yeah, kind of. It's kind of miracle.
It is kind of a miracle, isn't it? Yeah. So that was two things. So it was like the operations and the system, the timing, using data to predict when they'll need the trains most, and then operating them in real time, adjusting the schedule very slightly in real time. And then he had one more point, didn't he?
Yeah, so he told us his personal opinion, and then he said, so other factors, in addition to the very high technical standards of Japanese railway companies, so he said he believed the Japanese national character, the Japaneseness plays a significant role. So, for example, during the period of compulsory education, in particular, a student almost never arrive late to school. So, and if student late to school repeatedly, so their parents need to visit school, and the teachers need to talk to their parents. To notification, and the parents need to fix their child's habit. And especially for the railroad industry, so it's very stoic for it. Keep the timing.
They're very strict. It seems like if you want to work for the trains, you cannot be late. You cannot be that kind of person. So I know that we will talk about school more in another podcast, but it seems to me that that there is something special about the Japaneseness, because in American schools also if a student is late many times, his parents will be notified, and maybe the teacher will talk to the parent. But honestly, I think in my experience, there are so many families with difficult situations. Many times there are a single parent who simply can't get their child to school, or maybe the children don't have a safe, easy way to get to school. And so it almost doesn't matter if the teacher talks to you, there's nothing that we can do.
Yeah.
So it's really different.
Yeah. It's so difficult things.
Yeah.
And then also one more thing
Mm.
he mentioned about the why railroad industry is so stoic
Okay.
to keep the time.
Yeah.
So he said lots of lots of staff or employee work on during the midnight. So I mean,
Right.
only the timing, all train cars stopped, not
Yes.
running. So they need to finish on time. So that is why, yeah, railroad related company is so stoic on time.
Right. And he said that he has to work frequently at night.
Yeah, right.
And so one of the reasons that the Japanese trains are so clean and in good condition is because all of this work is happening at night.
Yeah.
So the trains are being cleaned and they're being checked and they're being repaired at night so that when the first train begins to run in the morning, it will be clean and it will be on time.
Right.
Well, that is all the time we have. And I feel like we could keep talking about this so much more, but at least I have a better kind of inside view now to why the trains are such a miracle in Japan. So thank you everyone for listening. My name is Jean Gordon-Koshenda.
And I'm Yoko Kato.
And we'll see you next time on Japan Explained. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Right now, we're working on a book called Japan Explained. You don't want to miss it. So subscribe to our podcast or our YouTube channel and keep track of all the latest on www.japanexplained.net.